couple of months ago, I made a video asking, is it illegal to send crypto out of South Africa? Today, I want to bring you a follow-up or an update to that video so that you know where we stand with the situation. This video is aimed at the South African crypto community so that you can be kept up to date with what is happening with crypto regulation in South Africa. But obviously, it is exciting and a lot of international people will be watching the space very carefully. So make sure that you stay tuned to the end of this video to get a full update. Good morning, everybody. Now, the video that I made a couple of months ago, I'm not going to be repeating a lot of the things that I said in that video. So I think it's imperative that you watch that video. I'll leave a link to that video above. Click on that now if you haven't watched the original video. Let's get straight into it. Industry players, and when I say industry players, I'm talking about the large exchanges in South Africa, have all got together and we have had meetings, we've had discussions, and we've tried to look at ways that we can resolve this issue. We got to the point where we've spoken to the regulators. We've even gone and sought legal advice. And after many meetings and discussions with legal advice from some of the top South African legal companies, I'm sad to report that it has not been fruitful. And let me just give you my rendition of what has happened here. We have found that the advocates and the legal teams of some of the biggest firms in South Africa are basically bulldogs with rubber teeth. And granted, this is really just my opinion, but we paid a lot of money to get legal advice. And on the outset, we found that these guys didn't understand the basics of cryptocurrencies, which related and resulted in us having meetings trying to educate advocates and attorneys on what is happening in the cryptocurrency. And even after that effort and that energy that we spent trying to educating them on cryptocurrency so that we could get a reasonable, logical, legal stance on the matter, they came back to us and it was clear from what we saw that they were failing to understand the fundamentals of cryptocurrencies. So to conclude that, big legal costs, huge legal bills, and we all decided that this was like flogging a dead horse. It was a dead end. We were not going to get anywhere with the legal route, or at least with the attorneys and advocates that we had appointed for the job. So the big exchanges unanimously decided that we were no longer going to pursue the legal route, at least not for now, because it is just going to be extremely expensive and it's going to come up with little benefit, or it is not going to bear fruit. The second thing that I attempted was I wrote a letter to the governor of the Reserve Bank. And to my delight, the governor replied to that letter. Now, out of respect for the regulators, the authorities, and the South African government, I'm not going to make that letter available for public consumption because the first word on that letter was confidential. But basically what that letter said, and I'm really going to paraphrase here, was that the Reserve Bank did have a certain amount of right to, put measures in place to control exchange controls. Then the last paragraph on that letter said that the South African government would not pursue people that were not moving cryptocurrency out of South Africa for illicit means. In other words, if you weren't moving cryptocurrency out of South Africa to export funds, they were not going to pursue you. But they ended off saying, but they still have the right to, and they can. So not much out of that letter either. But on a plus point, at least we got an answer from the government. They know that we're engaging, they're answering, communication is open. So now the third and final thing that we're wanting to do, or at least for now, is we are opening a South African Crypto Association. So what we want to do is get all the crypto players in South Africa together so that we can approach the regulators with one voice. And this has been a very successful endeavor to this point. We've got 29 crypto industry players in South Africa that have shown that they want to be part of the association. They want to speak with a united voice, and meetings are going on right now regarding the formation of the South African Crypto Association. We've seen a lot of industries in South Africa, banking, payments, the list goes on, have associations that are registered, that the government acknowledges, and these associations are able to go to the Reserve Bank or go to government and say, in order for our industry to explode or to progress, we need you to consider the following. And very often government works with these associations and drafts legislation in side by side with these associations. So if you are a crypto player or someone who is involved in the crypto industry in South Africa and you have not yet heard about this association which has been formed in the industry, we'd urge you to contact us. I will leave the contact details for Altcoin Trader for the individual involved in starting this association or getting this association to a point where it can be taken over and run independently. I'll leave that email contact below. If you are an industry player, please make sure that you join us so that we can approach the regulators with a single voice and hopefully get positive, good legislation drawn up around cryptocurrencies. So that's where we are. That's the update for what has happened, what we've tried to do as an industry, and what the situation is now. But I just want to point to something a little bit more. If we go back to those original frequently asked questions and we look at point 15, it says, may I buy crypto assets on a South African asset trading platform with rands and send the crypto assets to a foreign offshore-based crypto asset exchange? And as we know, the answer is no. Exchange Control Regulations 10.1c prohibits transactions where capital or the right of capital is without permission from National Treasury directly or indirectly exported from South Africa. But they go on to give a link to another website, which it's the same website, but if we click on this link, we will come over here. And something which is very interesting, which was not reported in the media or was not highlighted in the media, which I would like to take the opportunity to highlight on today's video, is individuals may purchase crypto assets from abroad using their single discretionary allowance of up to 1 million and or their individual foreign capital allowance of up to 10 million with compliant status. So what this really means is, as a South African, we get 1 million allowance per year that we can send overseas, and we are allowed to buy cryptocurrencies with this allowance. In addition to that, we are allowed to make application and we will be granted a further 10 million. So as a South African, you are allowed to send 11 million under the right circumstances, if you are tax compliant, out of South Africa with the express purpose to buy crypto assets, and you can freely declare that to SARS and to the government and say that those are your intentions, which I believe is progressive and is certainly not a bad thing. Let's read a little bit further, and I'm just highlighting and paraphrasing. The Exchange Control Regulations prohibits transactions where capital or the right to capital is without permission from National Treasury directly or indirectly exported from South Africa. This includes transactions where the individual purchases crypto assets in South Africa and uses them for the externalization. So basically, this paragraph says that you may not buy cryptocurrency and send the cryptocurrency out of South Africa. So you may send rands out of South Africa to buy cryptocurrency. You may not at this stage send cryptocurrency out of the country. But I think that we are making slow and steady progress. The government is aware of cryptocurrencies. They are allowing us to externalize rands within our single discretionary allowance for the intense purpose of buying cryptocurrencies. Guys, I'd like to point out that I am not an attorney or a financial advisor, and anything shared in this video should be considered my opinion. You need to do your own research. I'm simply trying to highlight facts and point you in the right direction. Once you've done your own research, read the documentation, please feel free to make your own decisions, because obviously anything that you do you will be liable for your actions. I think that goes without saying, but I thought I'd say it anyway. So just a quick update. I think that the next port of call, the next way that we can start to engage with regulators and make sure that cryptocurrency regulation in South Africa is done in a really logical and effective way, that we can see the transfer of wealth of cryptocurrency that is going to be a countrywide thing, and the inflow of cryptocurrency into South Africa with the Crypto Association batting for us, batting for the crypto industry. We are going to speak with one voice and hopefully get the regulators on board and get legislation that is pro-crypto. Guys, I'd just like to end off by saying I'm extremely positive about South Africa. I'm extremely positive about cryptocurrency, and I believe that South Africa will not make cryptocurrency laws that detriment or plunge the country into poverty. Simply my opinion. I will keep you updated as we move through this regulatory story step by step. If you like content like this, if you like being kept up to date with what is happening in the crypto industry behind the scenes, I'd ask you to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. That's it from me. I'm out.